Did you ever find you'd been holding something and there was no longer any need to do so? Maybe you'd been carrying some extra weight or baggage you didn't need. Or you found that a concept that once upon a time had been useful and now is perhaps no longer relevant. Or did you ever overdo it and find you'd pulled or overstretched a muscle or felt some kind of discomfort, and then other muscles started to contract in order to protect the injured part, and then later, even though the original muscle had healed, it's like those other muscles were on hyper alert. Rather than relaxing too, now that the needed work had been done. Life can be full of things, old behaviours or distractions that we pick up along the way, yet needn't be held on to, allowing us to focus on something more relevant or interesting. And this is the theme we will explore here together in a way that allows you to decide what you'd really like to understand differently or release usefully. But before we get ahead of ourselves and begin and explore how much of this will happen today or just occur sooner or later, it's important to know you can enjoy this experience fully when it's safe for you to take a moment out, without anything else important going on. Switch off this recording now if you are driving, looking after anyone, or doing anything else where you need your full conscious attention. And as you are ready, find a comfortable place to rest, sitting in a favourite chair perhaps, or lying down. And if at any time you want to adjust or make a shift to be even more comfortable or come fully awake to attend to something more important, you can just go ahead and do that. And as you sit or lie there and pay attention to your breathing, as you take a few nice, gentle, deep breaths to start this process, will you be interested to track just how relaxing this can be? Or will you not notice that this happens out of your conscious awareness? Will your eyes focus on an object or something that draws your attention? Will you notice different pleasing sensations? And while you relax, I know that you may not know how many different things, concepts or ideas your mind can take in or consider while you listen to my words at any one time, and the different meanings behind my words. Before the conscious mind, the analytical part, which tries to keep it all at the forefront, just forgets or gives up tracking it all, and leaves the unconscious part of your mind, the inner mind, to deal with it instinctively, so that you can draw whatever insights you'd like to receive or make, to fit with your own best intentions and well-being. Outside of initial awareness, do you notice your eyes feeling heavier? And stories and things which can guide your imagination and tap into your creative responses are a natural way as you relax each step along this pathway. Did you ever enjoy some walks in the countryside? Do your eyelids blink? Parks, commons or other such places? Or have they closed already? And sometimes the terrain changes, or can you not even be bothered to notice? And you adjust whatever sounds, sensations or images happen on the outside as you need to. Like when you step out of one location or environment while to another, your attention is drawn inside or the weather cools, or want to find some shade, to even more interesting things. And sometimes we know in advance that we can expect change. Getting ready to explore further. So we might bring a rucksack or a bag for an extra jumper or top to put on when we need it, while you continue breathing gently and calmly. And sometimes I write a letter and adjusting, but don't send it. Did you ever do that? And relaxing, like when something had been bothering you, perhaps something out of your immediate control, and wondering. And so I start to write it down, maybe like a letter to another person, actual or imagined. And in a moment, I'm going to count from 5 to 1. And I don't know how exactly will you choose to relax further with each count. And the letter goes on and on while I capture the thoughts, maybe the niggles or frustrations. But I do know that you could imagine taking a series of nice steps towards some kind of place. And it may not be very poetic. It could even be rambling, where you can be very comfortable and so relaxed. So when you've done enough for now, you can put it down and decide to take a break. And 5, feeling yourself there, ready to take the next step down to that place further inside your imagination and inner world. And 4, releasing and letting go of any remaining tensions, busyness or unnecessary thoughts, as you just enjoy the growing feeling of letting yourself step yet again down to 3, even more relaxed, to 2, and 1. And sometimes when I go walking, I think I'll take a water bottle or 2 with me. And will you now go into an even deeper And it's useful to stay hydrated, of course, and experience inner calm. But maybe I find a cafe or shop along the way, a delightful and have a rest, unconscious awareness, and a drink as your conscious mind, and meanwhile just drifts. Those water bottles are feeling heavier as it likes, and heavier in my pack wherever it likes. And I've written lots of letters without sending them, and with your background you'll have many questions about many things, although I didn't used to be that smart. And you may not even know, and sometimes once is enough until they are half answered, to be completed later, helping you to understand anything reasonable. Did you ever have someone tell you something they'd already told you, and then they tell you again and again and again, like a stuck record, and all the time you're thinking, I know this, or it's not relevant anymore for me, or I did it already, but they didn't yet hear. Just like those muscles. I get an idea sometimes, maybe a response to something that's been triggered, and I start to record or copy it, and then go to file it away. So I start a new folder and label it up, so it has its own natural place, as we all have capabilities and inner resources, and go to put it on my shelf more than we are aware of. And then I see another folder that already has a similar label on it, and I'd forgotten I'd done this. And as I look inside, I see all kinds of ideas I'd forgotten I'd saved, written about, or otherwise recorded and we usually don't know how they will be expressed. And what's even funnier, I see something very similar to what I'd just written about. And I think, wow, that's so useful. And will your unconscious mind? And I had it there all the time, and I'd forgotten. And thought I had to relearn when I could have just remembered. Scan all your positive memories, experiences, skills and capabilities to enable this to happen. And is it just me that it can be so annoying when they keep telling you the same thing? And it's like all you've got to do is listen to what I'm saying. Instead of sending the same old message, use some feedback, please. Just move on, you want to say to them. Relax. Let's consider something more interesting and that's relevant now. And when you've done that, will your mind now review something important connected to this theme, problem or topic that you can find useful to know, consider, connect with, or utilize at some point relevant and appropriate for you, rather than that old stuff that's done or expired or irrelevant or no longer needed, past its sell-by date. And I don't know how your behaviour will change, or how will you recognise at some future point, maybe over the hours or days ahead, that the change has and continues to happen at a rate and effect that is most appropriate for you. And then it dawns on me that I've been carrying all that additional water with me, and I'm nearly at the end of the walk. And I overdid it and kept too much. And it's just unnecessary weight. Will your inner mind consider something else that is important for you to review, that is connected with this? And sometimes I laugh at myself. And how deeply will you remember learning from this? And when I've slept on it, it's entirely up to you. I look at the letter again, and then it dawns on me, I've done what I needed to do, as it's not always important to remember everything if the work is done. I've reflected or learnt what I needed to, completed and carried through. Or if it was a pain to forget, you can forget to remember, or remember to forget. And the rest of that stuff that's past and no longer relevant, well, you know what can be done with that. And it's useful to know when to stop and take in the terrain. If you've come out of the shade and into the light, then you can remove some of those additional layers and store them away. Or if you planned well, you might not have needed them in the first place. And I don't know about you, but I really enjoy that feeling of lightness when you remove what's not needed, to enjoy the release of all of that. Like stepping into the sunshine on holiday after the journey, and relaxation happens in different ways, and you've changed, ready for the new situations and adventure. Sometimes it's purely an enjoyable physical experience, and you are ready to explore and feel refreshed. That also allows you to feel refreshed and look forward to all the exciting things you've planned. And sometimes it's more of a mental relaxation, even when it might be physically demanding, like when you are busy working on some enjoyable project or yet to discover, and afterwards the surprises and the enjoyment of being in the moment. You feel mentally relaxed there through the achievement, right now. That's right. And you can enjoy all of the positive effects of this experience, and stories and things which can guide our imagination, both now and later, and tap into our creative responses, or find this deepens our natural way and integrates even further. And while you relaxed or enjoy, had you forgotten, when you return, how many different things each time to this, concepts or ideas, if you'd like to explore more useful things your mind has been considering, and release. That's right. Very good. And in a moment, but not quite yet, I'm going to count from 1 to 5 so that you can enjoy coming back up. However, if it's a time and place when you'd just like to continue this relaxation even further, maybe dozing off or going deeply into a restful and peaceful night's sleep, then you can just ignore the last part of this recording. And I wish you pleasant dreams and rest. And on the other hand, if you are ready to come back slowly and easily, as once upon a time, as the stories continue to unfold, the meanings also update, and the conclusions drawn or imagined can be forgotten or rewritten, or maybe it's time to move on to a new one. Very good. As you just enjoy the level of calm, relaxation and peacefulness that you've experienced. Or 2, you can feel refreshed and ready to gradually bring your attention back to your body, sitting or lying there. And 3, you can notice all the sensations as your awareness of your breathing encourages you to enjoy some nice, deep, gentle breaths. And 4, coming up even more aware both of your body and also more aware of the outside world around you. And 5, coming right up, eyes opening, feeling fully restored and awake, stretching and moving gently as you completely reorientate yourself, excited and ready for the rest of the day ahead. Welcome back. Well done.